the same month that Churchill and Roosevelt were meeting in the Atlantic, the Japanese were escalating their aggressions in the Pacific. Japan seized French Indochina, causing President Roosevelt to declare an embargo on goods being sent to Japan, including oil. Japan badly needed oil to defend herself from enemies or to wage war. Relations with Japan became even more strained. The United States demanded Japan leave the Axis powers and withdraw from China and Indochina. Japan's military leaders assured Emperor Hirohito they would make one more attempt to avoid war with the United States. But as Japan's peace envoy flew to Washington, D.C. for talks on November 5, 1941, the Japanese military prepared for an attack on America. 1 month later, on December 6th, FDR was shown an intercepted message sent to the Japanese negotiators, telling them to reject all American peace proposals. It was obvious. War with Japan was inevitable. December 7th dawned bright and sunny over the American naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. But shortly before 8 a.m., terror struck from the sky. Launching a surprise attack, over 300 Japanese warplanes bombed and torpedoed the base at Pearl Harbor. 200 aircraft were destroyed and 20 ships sunk or damaged. By the time it was over, 2,400 Americans were dead, over 1,100 wounded, and the entire Pacific Fleet crippled.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. Japan has therefore undertaken a surprise offensive extending throughout the Pacific area. The facts of yesterday and today speak for themselves.
The raid on Pearl Harbor caused more damage to the U.S. Navy in personnel and equipment than all the losses suffered during the entire First World War. 3 days later, Germany and Italy supported Japan by declaring war on the United States. The attack on Pearl Harbor shocked and enraged the American people. The time for isolation was clearly over. Now it was time for unity. Now it was time to fight. America's massive investment in ships, tanks, and the materials of war would bring an end to the Great Depression. It would also help unify a people through patriotism and sacrifice.